Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be doing an overview slash kind of react to the Yes You Can Pet the Torgal panel that Final Fantasy 16 just did at PAX East. Now I wanted this video out sooner, and the format of the video is going to be kind of weird because PAX themselves just kind of dropped the ball. All of their live streams went down for about half an hour, and we don't know what the actual cause of that was, but I guess it's besides the point. I've only seen about half of this panel at the time of recording this. I had to wait until Square Enix went out of their way to put the panel out in its entirety. Thank goodness they locally recorded it. So while there are some things I can just kind of tell you happened, and if you've been following 16 news, there's not a lot of new stuff to actually learn, but I figure we'll do a little bit of that and a little bit of reacting to the videos, so it's probably going to be quite a long one. Now, I have seen some of the videos, like I said, about half of this program I managed to catch with the technical difficulties, and I can tell you there are absolutely spoilers in this. Now, there are those out of context, we don't actually know what's going on spoilers, but there's names of certain things, there's actual events taking place that we didn't know about prior. So if you're in that group of people that kind of wants to start avoiding Final Fantasy 16 news, and you were just kind of hoping that this was going to be a few basic overviews of things, then I'm giving you that warning now. I'll actually add timestamps in the descriptions that specifically state when the spoilers are, and I'll probably say something about it on the actual stream. But check the description so you can see when the spoilers start and end, and that should help you avoid anything that isn't just basic information about the game. With that, let's get started on this probably very long video. So for the first 5 minutes of the program, they did this meet the team section. You know, Yoshi P came out, introduced himself as the producer of 16, also as 14, but he actually did that as a slip up. And then Koji Fox, who we haven't seen in a while, who is the localization director. And they set the tone that this is going to be a lot of stuff that hardcore people already know about the game because they've been following stuff like the media tour that happened last month, or the news and the updates on the sites and anything that's been happening. So that high level information is all here. And it seems like the general idea here was to educate people who are not super aware. You know, they went out of their way to acknowledge that even though it's the 16th entry in Final Fantasy, that's not what it is. Like, you don't need to play 15 other games in order to understand what's going on. They go over the type of game that it is, the type of characters that it has. Things that, again, if you were following, you're well aware of all of these details. So those things are the things I'm going to try to condense down for you. So meet the team. This is the first thing they literally did when they announced Final Fantasy 16. Like, they put a giant blog post out, covered a bunch of people who are working on it, and then over time expanded that and told us even more. You know, when we eventually learned that, for example, Soken was going to be the composer and Suzuki was going to be the combat director, the guy who's worked on Devil May Cry 5, Dragon's Dogma, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as a combat director or as a developer in some capacity. But then, of course, you know, Naoki Yoshida as the producer, not to be confused with Yoshi P, the producer of Final Fantasy 14, Hiroshi Takai, the director, Kazutoya Meihiro, the creative director and original screenplay, Koji Fox is the localization director, and Hiroshi Minagawa as the art director. They, of course, go over some of their past accomplishments and projects they work on. Don't know why Koji Fox threw Dirge of Cerberus on there of all the things he could have thrown on. But again, if you've been following, these are details that are nice to know. And if you weren't following, then at the very least, you've come to understand a little bit more. Yoshi P, the white text on the white shirt, that might not have worked out so great. But, you know, you can see like some Last Remnant, Saga Frontier, you know, there's, you know, Suzuki's over on the right-hand side. And it's like Mario Hoops 3-on-3. You know, I'm kind of glad Soken threw that in there because I like to say that he worked on that from time to time. But those are the core team members. And then, of course, there's a lot of other people that make things happen. They also, you know, what is Final Fantasy 16? And I actually wrote some of this stuff down. You know, it's the newest numbered Final Fantasy title going back, you know, 35 years at this point. Each one is independent from the other, so you don't need to be experienced with the franchise. And then they went over the 4 pillars of the gameplay. So the first one was narrative, which, you know, to say that, you know, that's no surprise, the characters. And then we also have the visuals. And finally, we have battle. Again, these shouldn't be surprising. Story and narrative, they said they wanted to bring back the high fantasy roots to Final Fantasy. That, you know, again, we've known that statement. They also wanted something that resonates with both newer, younger audiences and older fans. Koji himself being like, you know, I'm nearly 50, and Yoshida being like, I'm nearly 50. And, you know, I still feel like this is a game for me as well. The characters, you know, while they mentioned that Clive is the main character, they have a large ensemble cast whose stories are all going on alongside him. And and they're all going to be equally as important to his journey. The visuals, made possible by PlayStation 5, of course, had to give that quick shout out to Sony, although I think he slipped up and said Square Enix instead of Sony at one point. And the battle, of course, full real-time action combat, has the player versus, enemies one, and then it has those giant Eikon versus Eikon battles, and they're made to feel like playing an action blockbuster. So video number 1, I will play it. This is one of the videos I have seen, so let's get to the start of the video right here. So this isn't going to be pure reaction. This is one I've seen. So I think the gameplay video, which is like 25 minutes in, that's the first one that's where the internet issues started happening. So I'm gonna let this play out, and I'll just make some basic commentary on it. Let me raise the volume a little bit. This should make it about equal to my volume.
I only stand here today because of Joshua. 13 years I've waited for this chance.
What up, Sid?
I've slept in filth, drunk from a gutter, killed more men than I can count.
I like seeing Clive be so tragic. Oh, the gameplay. Every time we get a gameplay scene, it just feels so good to look at. Got our buff boy Coral. So smooth. The freeze with the projectile follow-ups. That's the limit break. We've seen that in the previous trailers before. Basically like a devil trigger.
My lady.
Ready.
Let's go, Jill. I think that's the first time we really see him smile as an adult as well. And then, of course, the epic music kicks in. I never get tired of that Ifrit roar. It's like such an iconic scene. Speaking of iconic, they make the joke too, okay? Actually getting to hear Joshua's voice as Phoenix. And a giant explosion. Get another scene. Yo, I actually love seeing this Ifrit. It looks like it plays a lot more like Clive. So this is something we've seen in quite a few of the trailers. And we will get a name for that character later, so again, warning. This is one of those things that's new, yeah. So I'll probably have to add like a text on the screen that says spoiler and then put it in the thing. Because at this point, it just looks like another battle, but we don't know anything about this like Wraith-looking dude. By the time we see this in the trailer. But I love this spirit, and I call it the spirit bomb. It really looks more like a final flash at first, but then he throws it in the air and it becomes a spirit bomb. Yeah, so there's a few things in there that are fantastic. I really love seeing the super fast moving Ifrit, because when we saw the Ifrit against Garuda, they said it's like a beginner battle for Icons. They don't expect you to really know how to play it, so you kind of have very limited movement, very limited actions, but we get to see him like air dodging and doing combos and going up in the air, and then having rising attacks, having descending attacks, and it looks way more involved. And from what we understand, Titan is supposed to be a lot more like it's supposed to be a lot more, how did they describe it? Like, well, they said they're all kind of like WWE matches, but with the Garuda one, I forget what the word they used for each of them was. But we'll get to see more of those later. They do have another video on the Icon battles coming up in a little bit, so we will have more. Then we have the next part being Valisthea. Now, if you're like me, you've already extracted the map from the official site long ago. As soon as it was available, I think I even made a video because there were some details that we were trying to figure out about each of the various city-states, about who they worshipped before we had more information about them based solely on the flags and the details that we had. So they just, it's just kind of a fluff piece. Valisthea is a place that has all these different city-states, and all of them control mother crystals. And he says that each of the locations is kind of like an oil well, or each of the lands is kind of like an oil well where they're pulling on this reserve of ether from the mother crystals, and it protects them from the thing that we know as the blight, which is likely, while there's all this conflict between the nations, the blight is, ultimately going to be, I think, the end goal of everything. It's going to be behind all of this war and turmoil and strife and everything. But this, they didn't really have too much to say because, they're just kind of hyping up the world and all the different elements. You can see all these characters and places, and they just wanted to make sure that people were aware that there are there's just a lot to see. So the next video that they end up showing is on Valisthea, and it's just a little bit more of an exploration video just to show off some of the areas. So let's start that now. And a lot of these areas we've seen before. But we get these kind of open expanses. Now, as a reminder, it's not an open world game necessarily. I love seeing this scene. The lush forest with the ladders over there in the distance. The very townsy area with the squares. This looks to be Dalmec. Very lush greenery. It's very dense. Like how dense it is. You know, oasis town through like a river that's going out from the ocean. The open fields near the Holy Empire. This area kind of reminds me of a place from Forspoken a little bit. That last one, not this one. Outside Wallowed, you got a Sleipnir statue on the left. Okay, we've got a lot more of this like ancient civilization. We know about this ancient civilization tech. I think they were called the Lost, if memory serves. I have to double check. We have that. They've officially told us. This is him when he's younger. That was Rosaria in the courtyard. Wondering if that's an optional dungeon that he was just going into. Hope it is. We've got the volcano over by the Fire Crystal, by the Iron Kingdom. We've seen a few cutscenes from here as well. And all the environments are absolutely beautiful. They're varied. We've seen a few fights inside of this town. We can see some blue chunks of rock explosives being launched at the town. This is probably inside the Central Mother Crystal and the Crystal Dominion. We've actually seen in one of the trailers a boss fight in this area. We have to assume it's very late in the game. And that, somebody pointed out to me that this kind of gives them Final Fantasy 1 Cornelia vibes. So in Final Fantasy 1, after you beat the first boss and move past the bridge that's built, there's a scene where it's the characters looking back on Cornelia and then it says Final Fantasy. This does kind of invoke that vibe, except that it's Jill, Cid, Clive, and Torgal there. I'm kind of covering them up in the bottom right. Sorry, boy. Didn't mean to cover you up. But another beautiful scene. Very excited to see more of all of those locations. And of course, that definitely deserves a round of applause. And then they went into a few more brief explanations of things. Again, just more fluff pieces. There's not really a whole lot of information to extrapolate. They go over what dominants are and how they become icons. You know, again, if you've been following, this isn't new information in any capacity. And then we see Clive in all three of his ages. We have him when he's, you know, young. We have him in his 20s, and we have him in his 30s. And the story is going to be, you know, going between the timelines to showcase all of the events of Clive's life and his growth as an individual. So, again, nothing really surprising about that. We've known about the 3 different points in his life thing. And, of course, everyone can't help but notice he goes from kid to hot to hotter. So... there's going to be plenty and plenty of people can't get enough of Clive, I suppose I'll put it. Until my brother is avenged, I must walk my own path. Yep, and then you've got Torgal there on the right. Of course, he's not going to be alone. We've seen the guest party members, and one of the things I did see later is going to actually make me really look forward to those guest party members, but I'll point that out when we get to it. Then we have iconic abilities and iconic clashes. So iconic abilities are just Clive's abilities. You know, he can equip abilities from Garuda, Ifrit, Titan, and they all have different effects, and you can mix and match them based on your play style. So you can go about the game in whatever way is feels best for you. And then the clashes are, you know, the big, Hollywood action set pieces that they were talking about before. And this is where it cut off, I believe. I think it was, they said, oh, we have a gameplay. Yeah, right here. They said, oh, we have a gameplay video. So before I even play this is 24 minutes into this upload. We got it back at the 59-minute mark was when we actually had it. There's maybe like a minute or two spread across the other 35 minutes here. We were so mad. We were so mad that it happened. Everyone was freaking out. Even Soken tweeted, oh my God, as soon as it started happening. Oh, we're here now. It's fine. I only had to wait a little bit more. Okay, so I didn't get to see this. So now we're in reaction territory. I don't know if there's spoilers for this. So, I guess if there are, I'll put a thing. But I doubt it. It looks like he's just killing a bunch of randos. He's just killing these fallen hunters here. So let's check it out. All right, some of the Phoenix abilities. Fire to dodge, gap closer, Garuda claws to juggle, Titan upheaval for the slam down, for the OTG. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so going back to that for a little bit. Oh, we finally get to see some Bahamut abilities. We've seen them kind of already, but So it looks like he uses the Shiva Cloak to freeze, which we have seen, so that holds them still. Then he uses the staff to cast Thunder, and Thunder just strikes a location repeatedly. It's called Permafrost, that ability. And now while those lightning bolts are striking and dealing a little bit of damage and chipping away, he can go in for a combo. So while frozen, can't really do the launcher there. Uses the Mega Flare dodge, that was called. So interesting thing there. We can actually see a Mega Flare level on the left-hand side. So let's see what happens when he does the dodge. So when he dodges, the Mega Flare level actually goes up. And then when he presses Mega Flare, based on the level, it seems to do more and more projectiles. And we do get to briefly see something with the Zentetsuken in a second as well. So you can see then, bam, he presses it. And the Mega Flare, it's a level 3 Mega Flare, which then becomes Wings of Light, I can't help but notice. I wonder if he presses that. Or if that's just like the name, yeah, and then he goes Arm of Darkness, so you can see all the projectiles kind of zoning in. He's also got 4 small limit break gauges here, and then he's got the Zentetsuken, he's got Sheath, he's just repeatedly attacking with the sword. And then he did a level 4. So, okay, big thing. I'm kind of hiding a detail here behind where my camera is. Unfortunately, some things are better for me to be there and some things are better to not. So you can see there's the Wings of Light with Dia and Dark. So with Zentetsuken, it looks like you can hold Zentetsuken to choose how many of the levels are taken. So when he goes to Sheath, watch this. He's holding, and then lets go, and he uses 4 levels of it. Bam! He actually did do a level 5 Zentetsuken, so I wonder if he got a gauge back from the attack in this particular case, or if he got up to 6. It looks like 5 is the max. Unless 5 being at the max is the equivalent of having 6. You know what I mean? Because he does do, like I said, the Zentetsuken level 5 right here. And then the Mega Flare is also really cool to see. It actually holds the enemy in place long enough for the rest of the Mega Flares in the air. Let me double check that. Yeah, because look, all the Mega Flares are kind of frozen while he does it. So it freezes them all and then juggles the enemy. And then it hits 20 times with Mega Flare. Really, really cool. So then we've got some more Garuda abilities here with the front flip. We've seen those before. He's got the point blank with Ramu. Juggling a few enemies like that. Yeah, so one really big detail I like is that fire in particular. So a big thing with games that Ryota Suzuki has worked on is because he's worked on a lot of games that have very fighting game-esque skills. And, Devil May Cry has tons of stuff that you can relate to a fighting game. That's why, there's so much overlap there. And why combos are such a huge thing, the style. There's a lot of different keywords that you might get thrown around. So like OTG I mentioned earlier means off the ground. It's where you can bounce somebody off the ground for an attack. You also have, you have corners, you have launchers, you have all sorts of these like various terms. And every different spell is not just a spell for the sake of being a spell. Fire, we can see, actually launches them into the air. So it launches them off the ground, but it seems to be that it only does that when you do the one where you kind of step back, you see him do it, because we've seen him just spam fire and it not do that. So the point blank one where he does that as part of a combo seems to launch into the air. So the hit right before is knocking the enemy slightly off the ground, and then this is taking them while they're off the ground, launching them into the air, which then he can use Phoenix Shift to gap close to, and then continue to combo in the air, going for a very basic combo with that one. So now we've got the, oh man, I wish I'd seen him combo off something. Here's him fighting Ifrit as Clive himself. Looks like he goes for the grab. Now these grabs, I feel like I haven't seen enough of at this point to really understand what the gameplay behind them is, or how they're completely triggered. He goes for, oh, so it looks like he was weakened. And then he goes, okay, yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's kind of catching him while he's in a weakened state to trigger this extra effect to drag him down. That's what happened in the other trailer as well. Oh, and then that's like the first time we've seen that Phoenix ability. It's literally just like an AoE. That wasn't even a limit break. What was that? That was Flames of Rebirth, it looks like. Yeah, he was just triggering Flames of Rebirth, which looks like it does consistent damage over time, so really good to stun into AoE. So if you could do a big setup, something like a permafrost into that. I wonder if they have like fire breaking ice, like the sort of the opposing elements causing effects like that, because I think that would be absolutely spectacular. So again, from this point on, I don't know what he says or does, so I gotta watch it to find out. So kind of becoming a React video at this point. Combinate, yeah. Just seems like he's describing action combat at this point.
Right, and again, what you saw in this video is only a fraction of the different type of combinations that are available. And, achievable through our unique system. And so we hope to release more of that information in the near future.
I just want to play it, man. And then already on to the question section. Okay, so I've actually seen some of these questions, so I might be able to overview this section of the video. I've seen them on like social media and stuff.
And so one might think that what we've shown you might be enough to satisfy the masses, but no, there are still questions.
Absolutely not. Nothing will satisfy the masses. He knows this.
Out there, it can be sometimes be hard to find all the answers. We did our media tour, but there's still a lot of questions, so we want to touch on a few of those today.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, the character that you see up here, this old
He's a lore master.
Very, very important character in the game.
I want the Torgal plush he has, by the way.
This is actually the Valisthea lore master, and he knows all about the world. Yoshida-san kind of compared him to me.
Yeah, it's his name. No, never mind. I was going to reverse Koji Fox for the character's name. Like, don't call him that. Yeah, so I've seen these. I love the format of these questions. You can tell they grab them right off the forums because look at how they're written. Why the hell is everything so dark? Exclamation mark, question mark. And why is this area so small? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, one question mark, exclamation mark. QTEs, we don't need no stinking QTEs. And it looks like they're even referencing like, oh no, they have the text for the Japanese written right under them. Shove your action. I want my ATB. These Eikon battles had better not all be the same. You took the RPG out of my action RPG. It's like they're making fun of people, man. It's like, it almost feels like they're making fun of people who like want it to only be one specific thing. Some of these are reasonable, like seeing QTEs and going, ugh, like people have been doing that for decades now. Why is everything so dark? You know, the media tour was really dark. I want my ATB. These Eikon battles and better not all be the same. Yeah, so I've actually seen the answers to some of these.
Yeah, I think so. Again, so we would like to answer all of these burning questions, and we're going to be doing that here today using the power of the PlayStation 5.
Okay, I want to let you know, he said that on stream, and then it broke again. Every time he said power of the PlayStation 5, it broke. Just saying.
Yeah, we got a lot of this. Why is it so dark? Why is it so small?
No.
Slow down, please. Okay. Slow down, please. Okay.
The game's not all dark. The areas aren't all small. Slow down, Smiley. See, I didn't get to see this.
It's not all dark. In the game, the areas aren't all small.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I just noticed something. Why is the producer for Final Fantasy 16 using the image that is definedly used by the director and producer of Final Fantasy 14? Naoki Yoshida, you should have asked Yoshi P's permission before using that image there. Yeah, and then this is we knew all this. This isn't the first time they've commented on the areas being dark. This is just the first time they've done it on a stage. Speaking of stage.
Okay, and so one of the biggest question marks about Final Fantasy 16 has always been the switch to the full real-time action controls.
Yeah.
And so the media tour was set up to be an opportunity to showcase our new battle system and controls. And it just turns out that the area that we chose for that
dark.
happened to be a dark area.
It's a night. It's a castle at night. What do you want it to be?
And then what's like? Then why didn't you choose a brighter area? It's because this is the stage that we had completed first, and it was the most ready. Sorry.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to do it in a brighter stage.
I didn't mind. I like the setting for the stuff that they showed. We got like 30 seconds of this as well.
The media feedback, other than that it was pretty dark, was actually really, really good. And so if you haven't checked out those interviews yet and the media reports on their impressions,
I've looked.
Please check those out.
They're very good.
プレイステーション5を使っ
Very
て
good.
じゃあ実際そんなに暗くないよっていうのとマップ結構広いのもたくさんあるよというのをご紹介したいと思います。
So again, to prove to you that the game isn't all tight quarters,
Another video.
in everlasting darkness, let me whip out the old PS5
Yeah.
to show you one of our more larger explorable areas that we call fields. Right here.
There it is.
じゃあ行きましょう。
All right, let's switch the screen to the PS5.
It broke right here.
よかっ
Okay,
た。
it's-
Literally where he
it's
went,
not frozen. It didn't freeze. It didn't freeze.
It didn't freeze. There you go. I love this menu, by the way.
Pause it. Now we're gonna unpause. Here we go. Wait a minute. Wait. Controller. I just want to show. Look.
Oh, that he's actually using it?
Not a video.
Look. See, yeah, he just wants to show people, look, it's playable. This isn't a PC. This isn't pre-recorded.
動きしないでくれるから。
He's really,
Sorry, yeah, I made Clive look bad in that, but you know, it's
yeah.
to show you it's real.
Yeah, the sporadic movement will do that.
It's
like he's mocking every other live presentation that's ever done at these things.
So again, we do have these very open, spacious areas. This one happens to be, again, about 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers in size.
Okay.
All right, let's head.
I guess seeing how many yards that is that way, that gives me kind of a decent idea. No, get the choke. Why didn't we take the chocobo? How come they run faster than us? Even though it's high fantasy, there's always, this is probably a comment about the Lost, yeah. The civilization from before. It's a classic in Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 1 does it.
Again, we mentioned before that the game is high fantasy, but everywhere in the world you're going to see these type of old relics from an ancient civilization, which we call the Fallen.
Fallen, not the Lost. That's what it is. See, he corrected me. I don't even have to go look now. It's just people. Side quest?
And of course, in these
there's an actual
large
camp.
fields, it's not just places for battle, but you also have towns.
The
and
Bakled
encampments as well.
Markets. Oh, look at the chocobo. Look at the little chocobo.
And as you see, it's all seamless from field into town.
Oh, they're desperately trying to get to the Crystalline Dominion.
Dynamic conversations.
であんまり進むと、ストーリーが進んでしまってスポイラーになるので、
Oh, yeah.
ワールドマップの紹介をしようかな。
Okay, yeah, we can't go any further. It's about 145 more yards to the next part, and we can't show you that, so we're going to stop here.
That's a good
We're gonna show
idea.
you the world map.
Oh, the menu looks so good.
このように
Oh, wow.
というものが存在してます。
So, with Final Fantasy 16,
Are those
we have
Aetherites?
this world map, and these are the areas that you can explore.
Okay, so this is brand new to me. We've seen like a screenshot of the map, I think. I like it. It's kind of got that like 3D pop. It's not like a 2D map or anything.
And as you proceed through the story, you'll be unlocking more and more areas that you can visit.
で基本的には物語、ストーリーを進めるためには新しくアンロックさ
Something
れた
about
場所で、
story?
バトルをしたり物語の展開が起こったりするんですけど、もちろんそれに
Few
従わ
different
ずに
quest
このエリアに
markers
来て
as well,
アイテ
it
ムを
looks
取って
like.
きたり、モブを探したり、そういったことも自由にプレイできるようになって。
Oh, you can see like
And again,
side quest
players can
markers.
choose to, again, follow the main scenario along when you unlock new areas, or you can go back to the areas that you previously visited to have battles or search for items and just explore.
Yeah.
じゃあ実際
We know there are some sections of the story where you're kind of
All right,
trapped
and now we're going to
in
show
like a
you
dungeon.
what it's like to actually travel to an area and how much loading time there is.
Oh, it wants to show us the load
And
times?
Here we go. 1,
2, 3, 4ぐらいですね。
There
All
you
right, here
go.
we are. Boom.
Okay, so it's a little more open than they made it seem like. Because they made it seem like
That's right. Yeah,
you would be like
it's
locked
just
out.
Short enough that we don't have to
pretty
put a now
frequently.
loading symbol on the screen.
It's pretty nice.
ではちょっとここで、その RPG 的な要素ちょっとだけ
You also just walk if you want, I guess.
All right, so next up, I want to show you a different type of area, an area that has a little bit more of our RPG elements in Final Fantasy 16. So we're going to have to switch our save data.
Oh, okay.
1個忘れてた。
Oh, we forgot something.
今日は
Forgot what?
ライブストリームも 2K の配信らしいので、今回はですね。
Oh, some options. Ah, the game performance. Yeah, graphics mode versus frame rate. Yeah, we knew they would have this. That's pretty standard nowadays.
Okay, so as you can see here, we have two different game performance modes. One that focuses on graphics and 4K graphics, and one that focuses more on frame
I want to
rate.
know
Because
how
the
it
stream today
plays.
is in 2K, we've decided to do the frame rate performance mode.
Okay, fair.
いつでも好みで変えて
I want to know what the frame rate is in graphics mode, though.
という方はグラフィックス選んでいただいて、もうアクションゴリゴリに行くんだという方はフレームレートで遊んでいただければと思います。
But as you can see here, this can be changed at any time during gameplay. You can go
Okay.
back and forth between frame rate and graphics at any time you want. So match it up with your playstyle if you're
I'd hope.
more into the action. And
Oh, hey, the
frame rate.
ability
If you
grid.
say frame
We've
rate
seen that
was
ability grid
a
before.
beautiful experience. Feel free to go with that.
Everyone started cheering like, "Go back!"
All right, so let's-
Okay, so this I mentioned earlier. I saw a picture of this on Twitter. This is why I'm really excited about the guest party members, because they do the 2D sprites on the side. So I'd imagine there's one for Sid, one for I guess it depends on who ends up joining the party. But like, let's say if Benedicto were to join, or Hugo or something, like I'd imagine each of them has a different sprite. But like, yeah, you have the 2D sprites on the side with the cheering animation that you have selected.
all right, so let's load.
Big fan.
That's pixel.
Yeah, the pixel art.
なんだろうね。別のデータを読みます。
Okay, let's go to the next.
Crowd's a big fan as well.
早いですよね。
That was it.
Yeah, look, the side quest markers over there.
Very quick.
Yes.
So it has actually even more of the things that I actually had kind of thought would be a little more limited. Again, the moving around is a big thing. I thought it was going to be smaller.
All right, so next up we have an area that's called the Hideaway. And this is an area that's
Ah.
run by Sid, someone that Clive meets along.
Yeah, we know about this. There's like hunt boards and stuff here. It's like a content hub.
And this is kind of like a hub or a safe area
There
where
you go.
Clive can return in between his adventures.
There's vendors, there's side quests. Charon. Oh, that's foreboding to see that name.
So inside the Hideaway,
Different
Clive will
swords
find
here.
different facilities, such as this shop run by Lady Karen.
Karen. Yeah.
Here, Clive can buy
Even though it's
weapons,
CH, that's correct.
gear, accessories.
もちろんポーションの
Wait. Don't skip past that. Residual wind ether. Oh, see, that's what I want to see. Residual wind ether that, having failed to dissipate on the battlefield, has instead manifested into a solid form, not unlike crystal, with an elemental purity that renders it far more potent, if not specialized. So this, wow, that's expensive. Reduces Rook's cooldown. Yeah, so it looks like some of the accessories can reduce the cooldown of some of your other skills. See, that's the thing. But I'm also noticing the colors of these items. They're very MMO-y. Like, we have, I'm colorblind. I should, purple? I don't know. But we have like grays and purples and greens and stuff like that.
Accessories like potions, the consumables.
Potions, consumables, yeah, to make sure you're capped off. So I'm wondering how much...
Sleeping.
Oh, nice Torgal. I wonder how much of that is like relevant to items you find out in the wild. That's now my like new big burning
Here we
question.
have the Hideaway's
Forge.
Master Blacksmith.
Oh, this might answer the question actually.
この
Blackthorn.
ブラックソーンのところでは
Gaia Blade. Yeah, I mean, they have different qualities.
新しい武器や防具を作
Go
った
down
り
to the Storm Cry.
今まで使っている武器や防具のアップグレードを行ったりす
Please
る
go
こと
down
が
to
でき
Storm
ます
Cry.
Here, Clive can bring the materials that he's gathered on his journey to craft new gear or upgrade his existing gear.
Okay.
他にもですね
That's
こ
good.
の
I would have really liked to have seen
まあ
Storm
ここに
Cry,
ちょっと
but that's
アイコ
fine.
ン出ていますが
Music is
サイドクエスト
so
の
nice.
まあこれ世界
I hope
中
you can barely hear me
より多
just
くの
listening
サイド
to
クエ
it.
ストここからも発行されてます
As you can see there in the background with those exclamation points, those are side quests that start from the Hideaway. Of course, there are also side quests that will start in other locations as well, but most of them start from here in the Hideaway.
Oh, nice cloak. I want
Thanks.
I want one
A Reet Stone.
そしてこちらの
What is
ストーンもぜひ覚えておいてくだ
Is
さ
this
い
the hunt?
All right, and next up we have this item that's called the Arete Stone.
Arete Stone.
アクセスするとですね
Oh, yeah, this is the contents of own your battle skills and a customizable training. Oh my god, I'm so glad they have that. I was thinking to myself, I just want to sit in a training area and practice like I do in Devil May Cry.
Special supplementary content.
Arcade mode, which is like the points mode. Yeah. Replay a previously cleared stage to be awarded a score. Yeah, because there's like worldwide leaderboards for arcade mode.
We also have what's called an arcade mode, where players can compete for high scores and compare their scores with players from around the world on the leaderboard.
Yep. Oh, interesting. Stage replay is just like a chapter select, but it's specifically for replaying a particular stage, which are like their dungeons.
And of course, we also have a stage replay. So any of the stages that players have played and completed, they can go back and replay them at any time. Wait, question? What's that? No.
Question.
Oh, so that, I think I know what the question mark is. That's Final Fantasy mode. So we know that after you beat the game, you unlock Final Fantasy mode, which drastically increases the difficulty of everything. Willing to bet that's what that last one is.
Okay.
Final Fantasy mode. Calling it now. It's like Dante Must Die mode, I guess.
So again,
or maybe Legendary Dark Knight.
Where Clive can go at any time in his journey, and so when you need a break for the main story, the Hideaway is where the fun continues.
It's gonna be doing so many quests.
All right, so let's return to the PowerPoint for now.
Okay. Oh, that was still just all based on this first question. Okay. Oh, hello, Aloha. You have to bother me in the middle of this recording. Hey, buddy. It's okay. It's just like it would have been if I was live streaming
it. If you froze
it.
it, then you couldn't go back to Japan. Everyone would be like,
ruined it. Aloha,
let's go
stop.
to the next burning question.
QTEs. Okay, yeah, because we've seen a bunch of these in the Ifrit versus Garuda thing, yeah. And that was very QTE heavy. Very. Aloha's trying to bite my ankles in the middle of the recording.
That the opinion on QTEs varies greatly amongst players.
Sure does. The irony that RE4 remake just came out, and that was such a QTE heavy game.
But there's the question.
No.
So, are all of Final
Wants to get on my
Fantasy
desk.
XIV's battle
Not up here.
cutscenes QTE driven?
No.
The answer to that is no.
I know what the answer to this is. It's like checkpoints during a major encounter are treated as QTEs. We got about 60 seconds of this, by the way.
Just as is the case with a lot of players, neither the director Takai-san or myself really enjoy those QTEs that are overly long or really, really complex.
That explains like Shinryu and stuff in 14.
But again, you know, we all saw the screenshots, we all saw the gameplay footage. There was QTE. Let me explain what that was.
Yeah. It's
So
just
in Final Fantasy
splitting them into
16,
phases.
We have a lot of different boss battles, and in those boss battles, they're split up into multiple phases.
皆さんがですね、クライブを操作して敵のヒットポイントをある程度削ると、バトルフェーズが進むっていう概念。
I really hope they handle this better than 7
During each
Remake.
phase, again, Clive will wail away on a boss until its hit points get to a certain amount. And when the boss's hit points are reduced to that amount, the battle will transition to a new phase.
In the gameplay we saw from like Gamatsu and stuff, it looked like it doesn't transition mid-combo. Like you have to get out of the combo, or they have to finish whatever they're doing before
And
they'll
in
phase
Final
transition.
Fantasy 16, this transition is all done seamlessly. And so we'll have these cutscenes that will help us transition, whether it be a transformation of the boss, or whether it be the environment, something is happening in the environment, something's breaking down, or Clive needs to be in a new position.
この時にただ皆さんが見てるだけではなくて、クライブがかっこよく
Simple
動いた時に
QTEs used to give these phases a dynamic feel. That's,
回
yeah.
避だけを
We'll see how it feels when we actually play it. I'm not a big QTE guy either, so we'll see.
And so in these transition cutscenes, rather than just have the player sit back and watch the cutscene and do nothing, to give you all that a dynamic feel, like you're really in the action, we've added these simple prompts for attack and evasion.
なので
Yeah.
え
Attack, evasion, and clash. Clash are probably the ones where you mash.
ーは
Oh, they're finding out about the live stream.
We have a message.
見てる方に配信ラグが
This is about the live stream not
It
working?
says that there's a little bit of lag on the live stream.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's
今
okay.
は OK なんだ。すいません。
Yeah.
ライブストリームの方なんか配信遅延があったようで申し訳ないです。
So yeah, we want to
Just a
apologize to
little bit.
everyone watching. We're really sorry for the lag.
後ほどぜひアーカイブの方をご覧いただけると助かります。
Yes, the whole panel will be archived. So if you're missing anything, you'll be able to watch it later.
改めてすいません。
Thank goodness for that.
そしてなんですが、このカットシーン中にイベントが発生したとき、
In the middle of recording.
これを何か失敗したとしても、
We have a
ゲームオー
guest.
バーになることは一切まずありません。
We want
One
to
up.
assure you with is that
One up.
while missing a
One
QTE
up.
will change the outcome of a cutscene transition, it will never result in a game over.
入力全編通してあるのは3つだけです。
No game
攻
overs.
撃を行う時の四角ボタン
Aloha, let
を
go
押
of my
す。
shorts.
それから回避する時の R1 ボタンを押す
there we go.
それか簡単に攻撃ボタンを連打するこの3つしか存在しないので、ぜひコントローラーからその手を離さずにクライブと一緒になって
I'm being invaded by
バト
both
ル
of
っていう
my
のを
cats.
楽しんでもらいたいという演
This
出
is what it's like being a content creator at home when you want to do a react video.
So
Go.
also, there are only 3 types of these commands that are ever used. Attack, pressing square, evade,
Square,
pressing R1,
R1.
or clash, where you button mash the square. And again,
I can't
these
escape.
are
He
used
doesn't
to
want
correspond
down.
to what's actually going on in the cutscene.
Leaving this in.
When there's a cutscene, you don't have to put your controller down. You can keep holding onto it. Take up the part of Clive, really be a part of the battle.
ちなみに入力の
Aloha.
受付時間も
Get down.
非常に長いのでそもそもクイックですらない。
And also, with these mini QTEs that we have in the game, again, the amount of time that you get to press the buttons, actually, you have a lot of time. It's not actually
Yeah, it looked like we had a lot of time in the
なので
gameplay.
S スロ
slow time event, SDE.
Slow time event, they're
ー
not
でもそれ
quick.
ぐらいのものだと思ってあまり気にせずにいていただけると
No
助かりま
aloha,
す
no
Again,
gas.
it's not something the players are going to need to worry about during the battles. They're very leisure.
はい。では次のセクション行きましょう。
All right, let's go up to the next
All right.
question.
Shove your action
Yeah.
gameplay.
これは
That's not real
これは
Final
でも
Fantasy.
正直気持ち
Heard that one a million
わからないわ
times.
けではないです。
Again, I really, really understand this as a player myself.
なのでまず最初に本当にすいません。
That's
ごめん
all
な
I'm
さい
Sorry.
Really sorry.
It's not like you can change it.
で
It's a little late
僕
for
ら
that.
はもちろん開発チームもターンベースの RPG は大好きです。それで育ってきてるので我々も。
Again, but just
Yeah.
like you, again, we on the dev team, we all love turn-based games. Again, we grew up.
Why 2 different hearts?
ただそれと同じぐらい
Why?
もしかしたら今それ以上にやっぱりアクションゲームが僕ら自身大好きなので今回はそのアクションを盛り込んだファイナルファンタジーというものに挑戦させていただきました。
And again, but we also really, really love action games. Maybe even a little bit more now that we're older.
Oh,
and we wanted to take this opportunity
get told.
to make the next Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
I mean, they've been over this a
something
million
that was going to
times, you
challenge
know?
Ourselves. And we wanted to challenge ourselves with making a full action-based Final Fantasy game. Something that shows the world the potential of the series.
ただちゃんとお約束します。
Game is for everyone. Oh, I know where this is going.
しっかり仕上がってます。
The stream went
Final Fantasy
came back
isn't
long enough
just
for this
those
part.
players who excel at action games. We want everyone to play it.
Yeah, this is the accessibility.
Even that guy right there. In the third row. I think I talked to him
Can,
earlier.
can we get the camera on him?
I'm not good at action games. Like, no, it's for everyone.
Even you.
You.
俺は何も言ってないからな。
Yeah, that's all me.
ゲーム多分やれるよアクションゲーム。
He can. That guy can. Okay, but not that guy. He told me this morning.
分かった分かった。じゃあ
It'll be
ど
all
うや
right.
ってそのアクションゲームが苦手だ
Everyone's in the third row like,
とっ
was
て
it
も
you?
このファイナルファンタジー16が楽しめるゲームになってるのか、これもちょっと実機でご紹介しようと思います。
But again, to make the game both accessible and enjoyable to everyone, we developed these in-game equipable items known as the timely accessories.
Yeah.
That make the game accessible. And we're
They,
gonna
they've
show you
gone
how
over
they
all
work
these before.
using
I don't remember what they all do.
PlayStation 5. So let's go back to
One of them is like
PlayStation
auto
5.
potion, one of them is like auto combo,
Yes.
one's auto evade.
Change. No,
One makes it
no.
so the game slows down so you can manually evade? I don't remember.
Save number 2, 3.
3
Yes, 3.
おい喜んでるよ
Yeah.
Weird how the autosave's at the bottom.
1, 2.
Normally the autosave would be at the top because you can see the scroll bar on the right-hand side. I guess we gotta go find goats.
今回ちょっとまた新しいエリアでバトルを紹介してみよう
Are those red
Okay,
chocobos?
so we're gonna go to a different
Don't,
section of the area that
don't
we,
go,
didn't
don't go
walk
over there.
before.
No, stay back.
まず
Stay back. Get away from them.
現在のギアですがこの
Don't do that.
装備されてません
Okay, so this is the gear equip screen, and we see at those bottom 3 slots for accessories. We have nothing
Yeah.
equipped in the accessory slots.
普通にクライブのこの召喚獣の
Hug right.
というのは
No,
こちらの
don't fight the chocobo. Stay away from the red chocobo.
Okay, so by pressing the L2 button,
L2,
cycles
yeah,
through,
we knew this.
The 3 icons that you have channeled.
じゃあ僕が全てマニュアルでちょっと敵と戦ってみようかなと
Okay, so first we're going to go through a battle. This is all manual. We have none of the helpful accessories.
Storm Panther. All right, Yoshi P, show us your skills.
まず回避は R1
That's a
So you
big
press R1
panther.
to evade. See him
R1
evading
to
there.
evade.
仲間たちはオートで戦います
And then you have Jill and Torgal are fighting automatically. He's
今
dodging.
うまくかわしますね
That was a good judge.
でもかわせないと
That was
That
not a
was
good
bad.
dodge.
Dodge.
Oh, Jill, you missed. Oh, did he parry that or no? He took damage from that.
You're pretty good.
Thank you でウィルゲージを削るとこうダウン状態に
And each enemy has.
Oh, it looks like Jill and
larger enemies
Torgal.
have
Well, Torgal,
no
he can
gauge.
give manual
When you
commands
get the will
too.
down to 0, they will be staggered and fall like this, and so free for all on the down enemy.
I love the charged attacks from Titan. Big fan. God, it looks so smart. I need to play this for myself, man.
では倒しましたね
There you go. Nice easy battle. Get some loot. 9?
How much practice?
え
How much
4
practice?
times
Four times?
4 times.
まあ今のが
Oh, then I expected
何も
better. Come on now.
サポートつけてない状態フルのアクションだと思っていただければいいです僕なんて全然下手な方なんで
All right, and again, that was with none of the helpful
Yeah.
timely accessories.
Now he's gonna
And
show off all of
I'm
them.
not as good as this as a lot of players are, but that's what it's like at the base difficulty.
ここでですねちょっとアクションゲーム苦手だという方におすすめ
All right.
のサポート
Yeah, so these are the 5
Again,
symbols
we
in the
can
top
understand that
left.
even that can
So
be
if you
very
have them
overwhelming
equipped.
for players
Clive will
who aren't
automatically
used to
use a
action
potion when its
games.
HP
And so
falls below a certain
now we
point.
wanna equip the timely accessories.
And then it uses the lower tier potions for the higher tier ones. Okay. It's auto potion from like Final Fantasy 9. Okay, hold on, slow down. I'm trying slow down. I'm trying to read them all. When equipped, complex ability combinations can be executed by pressing square. Yeah, so this is like
So again, with Final Fantasy 16, we don't have the
How would I
traditional
describe
difficulty
this?
system where you choose like easy mode or normal mode or hard mode. The difficulty is the same, and we change the difficulty, and each player can customize their own difficulty by equipping or unequipping these timely accessories to basically match their own skill level.
では今回はこの5つのアクセサリ
Yeah,
ー
the
の
big
中
thing
か
with time
ら
what am I a P4 arena?
We're going to equip
Kind
what's
of.
called the Ring of Timely Strikes, which automates the attacks.
さっきの僕のマニュアル操作とクライブ
We
が
call
どれ
this
ぐら
the
い
Final
変わるか
Fantasy
見てて
15
ください
accessory.
So we want you to see what it's, compare it to what you saw before. Before, it's fully manual, having to press all of the buttons and all of the combinations to do the attacks. This condenses it all down into the square button only, and we wanted you to see how that differs.
Yeah, I'm very curious what this ends up looking like.
リング
And the next up, we're going to
Yeah,
equip what's
slows
called the
before an
Ring of
evadable
Timely
enemy
Focus.
attack.
こちらはですね攻撃クライブ
And
の
doesn't
相手が
stack with
攻撃
timely evasion, which is automatically
その
evades.
数フレーム前からゲーム全体がスローになるので、ゆっくり回避を、しっかり自分でその手で選択することができるようになります。
And with this ring, what happens is when something is about to attack Clive, or there's an incoming attack, right before it hits Clive, the game will slow down, and Clive will be prompt to press R1 to evade.
Yeah, we saw some of this from the Gamatsu stuff. Don't attack the red chocobos. Walk past the red chocobos. And yeah, you can see in the top left, they're lit up when he has them equipped. The sword being the auto combo thing. What does he pull? It's like he's an MMO player.
All right, so now we're going to do attack. We're going to dodge one of the attacks.
Yep. That's timely evasion. It's pretty short. It's an actual QTE, if anything.
Oh, that was good. Yes, just pressing R1 at the prompt.
And now show me the combos. It's been a long day. It'll be on mid-video.
Multiple attacks in a row.
It's been a long day.
And now next we're going to show the auto attack. And now he's only pressing square, and he's able to do these combinations.
That's just look at him holding the button.
You can play one-handed.
Yeah, let's see. He just pressed square and R1. Look. So skill. Yeah, you can see that it's
and again, you know, these
not nearly as good as a player who knows how to set up combos and whatnot, but it's basically using his skills on cooldown, it looks like.
You can play with one hand.
もちろんだからこのオートスローだけをつけてアクションはね自分でやるっていうのも楽しみ方の一つなんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Looks good. There's going to be some people who need that.
Can be combined in any way you want. For example, if this is too easy, maybe only equip the ring of timely focus that helps you with evasion, but then decide to do all of the.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to do that. People who aren't like super into action games or are trying it out anyway. I think there's a lot of people who are going to use timely evasion as an accessibility thing.
オートスローリングをつけてるので攻撃を受ける直前にスローになりますが、まあその回避自体をもう全部オートにしてしまうっていうアクセサリーも用意しているので、プレイヤーの皆さん一人一人がどんなスタイルでこのゲームを遊びたいか、そこをぜひ。
And then we know the auto evasion one, the auto heal one. There's one other one then.
見つけられるようになってます。
Again, in addition to these. Two that we've shown you already. There are many more of the timely accessories. There's even one, for example.
My cat's being a jerk.
You know, slowing down time is still too much for some players. We have an accessory that will completely automate evasion, so you don't even have to press anything and you'll dodge out of the way automatically.
My cats are about to start fighting in the middle of the video.
What's difficult for you, what's easy for you, and finding a combination that works.
まあぜひね、ストーリーを楽しみたいんだという方はいろんなサポート使いながら、でもちろんその。例えばアクションに自信があるという方は全て
Oh, it's in 3 minutes it'll be from where I actually got to watch again.
スコアアタックをするときは当然
I'm almost caught up.
つけてない方がスコアが高くなるようになってます。
Again, so for those players that just want to focus on the story and just want to see the narrative and don't want to have to worry about action, there are a lot of accessories that will simplify a lot of stuff. And
that's actually going to, I was going to pause. There's a lot of people who are almost upset at these things' existences because they make the game so easy. It doesn't matter to me. I want people to buy Final Fantasy 16. I want people to like Final Fantasy 16. If that's how they decide to like it, that's all that matters to me. I am going to go ham. None of those are being used. And my inner Devil May Cry fan, as you know, my second favorite franchise of all time, is going nuts.
On the other hand, if there's those players out there that know I'm great at action games, I want to
challenge
myself, take off all the accessories and play it on its hardest mode. We also have other types of battle content that will challenge those players as well. For example, the arcade mode that we showed you before.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
If you wear these accessories, you're going to get a lower score, so you're going to take those off. And
they do affect the score in arcade mode. Good.
Where it's just you, and get those high scores and get on the top of the leaderboard.
I'm looking forward to that.
世界中でですね、ファイナルファンタジー16使ってストリーミングしようと思ってくださっている方もいると思います。ストリーマーの皆さんにですね、この今画面の左上にクライブが今どんなサポートアクセサリーつけてるか一目で表示されるようになってます。ですのでいちいち視聴者の皆さんにどういう装備で戦ってるか紹介しなくても、一目で分かるようになってます。
And again, you know, we know that with these timely accessories, one thing that might happen is that you're going to have streamers that are going to want to be streaming how good they are, and then be like, wait a minute, is this guy using, you know, the timely accessories to make everything better? Well, streamers, we have on screen, if you see at the top left,
called out,
show you which of the accessories that you were equipping at that time. So again, streamers won't be able to cheat, and they won't have to go in and show their audience, you know, oh, I have this one off or have it on.
I will say, it's kind of hard to, for me, I'm colorblind. I can kind of tell, but it is actually kind of hard for me to tell because they're very small.
But I guess, yeah, I think we're done showing battle, but the title of our, you know, panel is, Can You Pet the Torgal?
Oh, yeah.
You can pet the
Yeah. This is funny.
That Torgal. That Torgal. Can you pet the Torgal?
Sorry. Torgal.
Torgal. Aw. No.
Torgal didn't seem to mind.
Can you kill the Torgal? No.
Oh, look, he's trying to dig something up.
Pet. Oh.
Good boy.
Good boy.
It's weird how his hand doesn't actually touch the top of his head.
Treats for Torgal. Oh, yeah.
Torgal's a good boy. Torgal's going to be the most popular character in this game.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
はい。というわけでですね、トルガルもぜひたくさん可愛がってあげてください。
So yes, you can pet the Torgal.
You sure
All right, let's
can.
go back to the PowerPoint.
はい。実機でした。
All
あり
right,
がとうございます
and I know there's not a whole lot left here.
では、
There's a few
そろそろ
minutes.
最後の召喚獣
Icon battles better not all be the same. They do have another video for this. This I did get to
か
see.
なり重量級のバトルでした。で、あのバトルちょっとゲームの序盤であることもあって、皆さんに操作に慣れてもらうためにあえて結構簡単な作りにしてあります。
So we've had some players wondering about whether the Icon versus Icon battles are going to be all the same. At the media tour, we allowed the media to try out the Ifrit versus Garuda battle.
Very basic
This
battle.
is one of the first Icon versus Icon battles that appear in the game. The overall difficulty is fairly low. You can think of it as an Icon versus Icon tutorial.
じゃあイベントバトル
No.
かというと
I mean, we knew this already. Oh, I know there's
Again,
spoilers.
not all of them. are going
Big
to be
spoiler
the same.
warning here.
召喚獣バトルテーマごとに、バトルシステムが異なってるんですが、これをなかなか言葉で
We
伝
get
え
some
るのは
names
難
of
しい
some of
の
the
で
bosses.
ストーリーのスポイラーにならないギリギリで
He even says the word
新しい
spoiler.
動画ちょっといくつか持ってきましたので、ご覧いただいた方が早いかなと思います。
Right, as the story progresses, Clive gets more used to his Icon. The battles will get speedier and more complex and more challenging. And again, showing you too much of these may result in some major spoilers, but we did put together a quick video that shows you just enough. So let's take a look at some of those.
We'll
Icon
see
versus
about
Icon
that.
battles.
I mean, I know what's in it, but yeah, that's your spoiler warning. I love hearing their voices as the icons. Yeah, so this is Typhon. Very different looking than the Typhon we know, which is the one that's usually hanging out with Ultras. Look at how fast he is, though. We have the Titan battle again. We got to see a little bit of this earlier. I love seeing the faster looking Ifrit with the air dodges and everything. Oh, it's so satisfying. Then we have Titan Lost. So yeah, a transformed Titan. You know, this was suspected, but we didn't know for certain because he's made of rock. So, and then we were told about the rail shooter one. Apparently, it's the very first one. Phoenix versus Ifrit is just, it's like a rail shooter. That's where you're playing as Joshua, which is interesting. Good hit, good hit. Fighting Bahamut. I love this right here. Watch. You're gonna recognize this attack. It's called Mortal Coil. That's Akmorn. They just didn't call it Akmorn because Akmorn's a very Final Fantasy XIV name. So they called it Mortal Coil. That's him against the other Ifrit. We've seen this in some of the trailers. We've seen that exact punch in some of the trailers.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
But now their timer's at 0.
ユニークなシステムだけに実態ご紹介しきれないんですが、この先もですね少しずつまた召喚獣バトル動画ベースで、出していくことで、いろんなエキサイトメントが待っているということを伝えていければと思います。
As you saw, the battles in Final Fantasy XVI can sometimes prove a little unorthodox, but they're very unique and they're very exciting. And we're really excited to show you even more and have more to show you in the near future.
Now, I know the demo won't be out till like June. Took the RPG out of my action RPG.
Again, so now our final concern has to do with game content outside of battles. We've seen the action, but what about the RPG?
もちろんあります。
Again,
Did we? I love the question
た
mark.
だもう時間がなくなったので、
It's so funny.
4月以降また
And now I gotta wait till April.
RPG 要素やり込み出していきますので、ぜひ
Alright,
して
fine.
お待ちください。
Fine.
again, our counter clock says 000, so we're out of time, but
Yeah, but
in the
PAX
very,
robbed
very near
us.
future, we're
So
going
you
to
should
give
just have
more
kept
information
going.
on the RPG elements of Final Fantasy XVI.
はい。
There you go. Yeah, and then it's pretty much done at this point. I think he just says goodbye.
最後ね、ちょっと改めてなんですが、こちら。
Pre-order the game, yeah. No delays.
2023年6月
They said the only way a delay would occur is if a meteor hit
So
Square
Final
Enix
Fantasy
headquarters.
16 on sale worldwide June
Knock on
22nd,
wood.
2023.
ぜひですね。
So soon.
まあ今のところ
It's crazy how
ほぼほぼ
soon it
予定
is.
通り発売しますので、ぜひ予約をしてお待ちください。
And we don't expect any delays.
No delay.
No delay.
No delay.
And so if you haven't already pre-ordered, please pre-order today.
Yes.
There you go.
Today and every day.
Every
Just
pre-order
every day.
それではすみません、駆け足になりましたが
Thank you for watching.
最後ま
We're
で
done, yeah.
パネルありがとうございました。ライブストリームの皆さんもすみません、途中ラグあったそうなんですが、アーカイブしっかり、用意しますので。
I was apologizing for the stream. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. All right, yeah. So like I said, it was like a half overview, half react. Honestly, like you don't understand how much this feeds into something that it feels so personal to me, because it's my two favorite franchises meeting in a way that has not been done yet. I love 7 Remake's take on action combat. 15 has its ups and downs. It's got some stuff that I feel like is ignored by the general masses because it's not necessary to beat the game, but it has some technique, but it doesn't scratch that same itch. Stylish, customizable, fun. That is Devil May Cry, and that is what we're seeing from our combat director here in 16. So it tickles all of my fancies, and I hope people who are a little bit maybe upset that it's not turn-based still give it a shot, because just let me tell you, everything I'm seeing, every time they show something, now we're at the point where when they show stuff, it's new and it's exciting, and it's what I want. So I'll keep an eye out for the April news. We'll have a video for the April news, of course. If anything else happens before that, I'll have a video on that too, but I'm ready. And I hope you are too. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you thought in the comment section of the video below. And stay tuned for more Final Fantasy 16 news and videos on the channel. With that, I'll see you all in the next one. And until then, take care.